answer. And when I need, and I'll keep my faith, turn to the Lord, things begin to change. My soul, and change begin to break. Oh, wow. I believe this is the presence of the Lord. Turn to the Lord. Gonna block everything else out because I realize. And when I feel I need an outpour of your spirit, Lord. Said I know when. Yeah. Things began to change. Have you ever answered your prayer tonight? And change began to break. Thank you, Lord. Turn to the Lord. I can't fool with much more of that. Hello, good evening, everybody. I better turn that off. You are just listening to the sounds of my friend and brother, Apostle R.J. Williams. That was his first single called Prostrate. You can pick that single up, download it, purchase it on any and all streaming sites. That song I had got to turn that off. We can't listen to that too much because we got business to take care of tonight. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all. This is Self-Checkout. I am your host, Pastor Will, and I'm glad to have you guys in tonight. As we do every week, we do ask when you come in, let us know that you're here. Say hello, leave a comment, leave some hearts on Facebook, leave some hearts on, what's it called? Periscope, Twitter. We everywhere. We're on YouTube. Good evening to you guys. Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube. Hello, everybody. To those of you who are going to watch the replay, we would like to say hello to you too, and we are interested in your comments as well. So please share this video. And tonight, I am super duper excited to have my guest tonight. I have described her on social media as Chicago's coldest nail tech. And I think I am right about that, and everybody knows it. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to some and present to others my little sister, Ebony Ellis, is here with us tonight. Hey, girl.
Hey, y'all. Hey, brother. Hey, how are you?
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I haven't seen your face in a while.
I know this doggone coronavirus. Man, I ain't been nowhere. I go to work because I'm an essential worker, so I have to do that. But soon and very soon, we shall see one another. I'm glad to have you with us tonight. It's gonna be a fun hour. We're gonna have some fun.
Well, you know that's what we do.
I want to say good evening to some of our viewers that are on tonight. Mama is on. Hey, Mama. Pastor Greg, I see you, man. Thank you for joining. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Sade. Good evening, Tabitha Johnson. Thank you for joining. Mason's mama is on. Hey, Sharon. Sheridan Davis, prophetess. She said her favorite. She said her nail tech I see you. Thank you for joining. My brother Mark is on. Hey, brother. Thank you so much for being here. John, nobody's paying attention to anything that you have to say. Uh, he said that he
Hey,
just
Sheridan,
here for his help. Nefertiri is on. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, all of you all being on. Pam, I see you. Good evening, everybody. Tonight is going to be a fun night. We are kicking off our All in the Family series here on Self Checkout. And tonight, I wanted to start with something that plagues many of our families, and that is anger and bitterness. So tonight, we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. Before we do our top choice question, Ebony, tell us a little bit, those who may not know, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you at, what's going on with you.
oh, you know I don't like introductions. I'm me, everybody. Uh, that's who I am. I'm just kidding. I am Ebony. I am the owner of Polished by Ebony Nail Suite, located in Oak Brook. Um, I am also a proud member of the Word Works Church of Chicago.
Woohoo!
Shameless plug. My pastor is Bishop Jeffrey Davis, First Lady Jacqueline Davis. I'm worship leader there, also minister there, and wherever else I'm needed there. And I'm also your little sister, your favorite little sister. Thank you so much.
Let it be known. Let that be known. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much for your kindness, for coming in. On Facebook and Twitter, we need the hearts. We need the hearts. We need the hearts. Um, Christine Mitchell is on. Hey, missionary. All right, guys. Let's get into our
Hey, baby,
top choice. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't hear you.
I was saying hey to my baby mama, Christine.
Oh, let's get into our top choice question tonight, everybody. And I want you to comment whether creepy or creative. Listen to this. Kim Kardashian just turned 40. If you did not know, her husband, of course, Kanye West, gave her a birthday gift that many people will probably never get in a lifetime. He gave her a hologram of her late father, Robert Kardashian, as a birthday gift. Kim was very startled. She said that it was very thoughtful. She said she felt like it was a special surprise from heaven. In this hologram, her father is talking to her and saying to her how proud he is of her and that he watches over her and her sisters every day. Um, he just says a lot of sweet things to her. He told her that he remembers driving her to school and all of that. And he also says that she married the most genius man in the whole wide world, which is Kanye. We know where that came from. Um, and he says, know that I'm very proud of you and I'm always with you. I have built a firewall around our family, he concludes. Don't forget to say your prayers. Then he dissolves back into pixels. Creepy or creative? I'm me myself, I'm gonna go with creepy. I I miss my family that my brother, my sister, my dad, they're all gone. I miss them dearly. But a hologram, yeah, I'm gonna have to say creepy on that one. Ebony, what do you think?
That is creatively creepy. Just give me a plaque or something. I don't. That would. No, I ain't gonna be able to do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was.
think I'm going to do that.
It was very thoughtful, but no.
Yeah, it's creepy for me. Hey, Sheridan says creepy. She says rich people are weird though. It's way creepy. Good evening,
I mean,
Pastor
it's kind
Jonette is on too. Hey there. So I'm getting
Yeah,
feedback.
Kanye
I
is
think
creepy
on
for me.
your end. Whatever device you have playing, turn it down some. All right, Bishop Jeff is
What'd you
on
say?
tonight. Hey, Bishop, glad to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Geneva is on. Gregory Huggins said
Hey,
it's
girl.
creepy. Gregory Huggins says creepy that she turned 40. He's shady. He's shady. That's all. My brother Cedric is on. Hey, said. Christine says it's creepy. I don't see anybody else. I don't see anybody
No,
saying that that's creative.
don't nobody want
Tab-
that.
huh?
Don't nobody want that.
Tabitha, yeah, Tabitha says, I miss my daddy unbelievably, but if you put him up on the wall talking, I'm out.
Listen, he can just go in
Hey,
the house, okay?
the whole house, we out.
I'm getting some feedback here. Give me one second.
Yeah, I think it's your volume. You might need to turn that device down. Um, hey, Tiara, good to have you on. Thank you for joining us tonight. Bishop Jeff says it's extra creepy, and I'm with you. I'm not feeling that stuff. I mean, I see all my loved ones when I get to heaven. I don't want to see them. I can't deal with it. Dr. Kermita Washington says it's mentally creepy. Yeah, nobody likes that idea. So yeah, I think it's unanimous vote tonight that is a creepy thing to see. I mean, I think he was being genuine in his thought process for doing it, but for me, it's a no.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
guys, tonight, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
All right, everybody. Tonight we begin our All in the Family series, and tonight's topic is anger and bitterness. And in my post, when I first started posting this topic for tonight, I said that of everybody that we are in relationship with, nobody can make us mad, make us angry like our family members. And that is the truth.
That's the
You,
truth.
you can get mad at coworkers, friends, what have you, but nobody can get under our skin like a family member can.
That's the truth.
And Ebony, oftentimes, um, anger, people have to understand that anger is a human, God given emotion.
Absolutely.
Um, but when you have, number one, misguided anger, okay, you have that, and then you have anger that sits and settles and it is not dealt with, it could then turn into bitterness, which is where we have the bigger. Um, so, hey, Kenyatta is on tonight. Thank you so much for being on with us tonight. So, I want to ask
Hey,
you, and I want to ask the viewers too that are on tonight. You all can leave yours in the comments. Ebony, what do you think are some of the main reasons um, that cause extreme anger in the family structure?
ooh. Um, I would say lies and deceit are main reasons. Family secrets, can cause some bitterness and anger. A, a, a wide range of things. I don't think that I mean attitudes, bad attitudes. I don't think I've ever been that angry with a family member. I mean, I've been angry, but it's not very often. But I'm trying to think. What was it? People's tones, how they say things, disrespect. That'll do it. The disrespect. That
For
was that
sure.
was a main thing for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have some
So
comments coming in. Tierra
yeah.
says lack of communication, which is big. Geneva says lies, jealousy, and disrespect. Good evening, Kashia, I believe it is.
Yeah.
She says gossip. And that's a big one. And
He should.
people, whether you believe it or not, family members gossip about family members. And that's just the truth.
Oh,
Um,
all day.
yeah, yeah.
All
Um,
day.
so keep the comments coming. Tatiana, hey Tati, she said pride and misunderstanding. Dr. Kermita says too much alike, no respect. I agree with that also. So, like Ebony, you are a spitting, in my opinion, you are a spitting image of your mother. She was absolutely beautiful. And
Really?
unfortunately, she's no longer with us. Um, but you also look like Jerome too, who everybody knows Jerome is Jerome Roberts. That's her dad. Um, Jerome has a very strong personality. Do you ever clash with your father?
I'm sorry, you froze up a little bit. Can you repeat that?
I'm sorry. Do you? I said that Jerome, your dad, has a very strong personality, and you do too. So, do you and your dad ever clash? Okay, I think we've frozen again here. Hey, Shirley, thank you so much for joining. Mark Stenner says, what causes problems in the family is when they eat your food without asking. That's true, though. Yeah, I remember you got to put your name on food and put it in the refrigerator. I think Ebony is frozen. She might have to go out and come back in. But I just want to take look at some of these comments while she does that. Geneva, I want to go back to Geneva's comment, lies, jealousy, and disrespect. That is absolutely the truth because I feel, and this is my opinion, I feel that there are some people in our families who feel that they could do and or say anything they want to us because we're related. Not so. No, we not doing that at all. Um, especially in being an adult. I understand that we are family, but you also have to understand that I'm not the little boy I used to be. I'm way, way grown, and I'm talking about me now. I'm not gonna tolerate disrespect from anybody. You can't talk to me any kind of way you want to and think it's okay because we got the same name or we got the same blood running through our veins. No, that's not gonna happen. Um, so Tierra says, uh, let me put that up there. I want to show this comment because these are true statements that you guys are making. Not being able to, I see you, Ebony's coming back in. Not being able to have honest conversations, acknowledge that there's hurt and unspoken apologies. Bingo, that is absolutely it, Tierra. That's
That's
it. Because listen, we just because we're related does not mean that we're not going to have disagreement.
Right.
We're going to have disagreement, probably more so with anybody else, because we are related. We have relationship. But I think that the biggest, and I'm going back to what I said. Ebony, you weren't on, but I said that I think that a lot of times, our older family members, even sometimes it could be our parents or aunts, uncles, whatever, they still feel as if they could talk to you like you were 12 years old. And I had to talk to a couple of my relatives like, yo, this is not what that is no more. I'm not Miss Harry no more.
Listen, they forget.
Yeah, mom says there's so many big I's and little U's in some families, and that creates a big problem. Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely. Hey, James Anderson, my friend, my brother, my little brother, my younger brother's on, whom I'm so very proud of, and you guys are going to see him on the front line in just 2 weeks. I let that cut out the bag, but you'll see him. Yeah, I just feel that you even a family member. Let me go back. And let me say this. That's why I asked you about. I was trying to go somewhere with that. I asked you about you and Jerome because both of y'all personalities are so big. I would imagine that with personalities like that, that you guys would clash from time to time. Because I know Jerome. I've been knowing Jerome forever. Jerome he reminds me of my mom in male form. Cause he gonna say what he gotta say, regardless of whether you like it or not.
Yeah, we clash about 4 times a week. It's it's just how it goes.
Yeah, that's true. Sheridan says it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Yeah, that's for sure. And I do feel, Sheridan, that and I'll say this again, my mom is on here. My mom respects the fact that I'm an adult. So she doesn't talk to me disrespectfully. She can get on me still, and she will, because that's my mama. That's what they're gonna do. But my mother also respects the fact that I'm an adult, and she does not treat me nor talk to me like I'm a kid.
Right.
And we have people in our families that do that to us, and out of respect, sometimes we don't say anything.
Yeah.
But we're angry.
I've been because they're your elders, you tend to let things slide. Get to a point where you can't take no more, and it just builds up and builds up, and then you erupt, and now they looking at you like,
right,
when did you get this? Oh, you've been disrespectful my whole life. I'm just now saying something.
Right.
So,
So my question now becomes how, because we have to, every family dynamic is different.
Yeah.
Some families, people have the ability to say, you know what? You hurt me. You were wrong. You offended me. Let's talk about this. But then there are others who can't do that because they already know what the response is going to be. No, you wrong. I'm right. And we have, do you have any kind of, in your head, do you have any solution to how we can bridge that gap? How we can have a healthy conversation with our parents or our relatives, any relative? How can we do that without it being an issue?
I wish I had the answer. I've tried that approach with the family members. Like, hey, what you said, what you did, what you are doing, and what you continue to do, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this and here's that. if the other party is not willing to listen to reason, you can't get past it. So then you have to choose whether you want to deal with them on certain occasions or not at all, or deal with them with a short handled spoon, because at some point you're going to have to stop being disrespectful. But if you, let's say if it's a parent and a child, once that child gets of age, like I'm 41, my dad is 61 until Saturday. If I can't go to him and say, Dad, you know, I am your child, but I am not a child. So even with all that you have ever done in my entire life, at some point you're going to have to realize that I am an adult. And whatever choices I make, they're mine to make. Whatever mistakes I make, they're mine to make. And then you just be there to pick up the pieces if I need you to. But, you know, sometimes, you know, parents tend to insert themselves in your business. That's another show you got going on. I'll wait.
It's coming.
It's coming. But I think the only way to bridge that gap is both parties have to be mature enough to sit down and hear what the other is saying. I've had people tell me, like, I've expressed my feelings. Hey, this what you said and this what you did hurt my feelings. And they told me, no, it didn't. You're wrong. So where do we go from there?
Right. And when you can't do that, it causes anger. And it's, again, we started, anger is a God-given emotion that we have. Let me put a side note on something. Y'all, I have two of the greatest musicians in this country right now on my show, and I'm like so excited. I got James Anderson and Rob Woolridge on here tonight. They are my bros and they know it. I love them so much. Thank y'all for being here. I just had to say that, y'all, because I know them personally. Like, we used to play together. So, but yeah, you can, when you have situations like that, it causes anger. And like I said, nobody can make us mad like family members. Brandon is on from Milwaukee. I think he's still in Milwaukee. Hey, brother. He said sometimes the elder family members are so judgmental when they made the same mistakes in their past. Instead of helping you, they talk about you.
That's true. But you know what? They're set in their ways. So it's like, I'm your elder. I know everything. You know nothing. And so when you get that kind of attitude, you know, it's really, really difficult. And when you keep trying to tell a relative, hey, this is not okay, and they tell you, well, you're wrong, how you feel, it's kind of hard to get past that. So now you're in a position like, well, I just don't want to do it at all.
Yeah. And that's where I'm going with this, because when you deal with it for so long, and especially if you're in a family that does not have that dynamic where you can sit down and have that conversation, you hold on to it, right? And it creates this bitterness in you. And now when I see you, however long it may be from the last time I saw you, that same emotion rises up in me as soon as I see you.
Immediately.
Yeah. So, you know, we don't, I think that we have to find some kind of way, because we are Christian. This is a Christian show, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget that. We have to find a way to deal with that, because and there's some people I know that I know their family dynamic, and I'm like, you take that for real? My mom would never, you know. For example, and because again, we don't know how to. Some older people don't know how to allow you to be an adult.
They don't.
And you said something, and I'm gonna put it on the screen here. Somebody else agreed when you said, "I am your child, but I'm not a child." Come on, respect my adulthood. So yeah, let me read this one more comment and we'll move on. Geneva says, "Respect is respect. Period. I'll listen to you if you're able to listen to me." When did we get to the point that kids, even though grown, think it's okay to go back and forth with you? There's a way to do everything. Each person has to be willing to admit their part in the offense. That involves accountability and forgiveness. Agreed. And what I won't do is I will never go back and forth with my mom. I won't, because that you just don't do. I'm 46 and I still feel like she'll slap my teeth out of my mouth.
And
So listen, so I ain't gonna do that one. But again, my mom respects me as an adult. So we don't have those issues. Um, so yeah, that's those are some great comments coming in. Thank you guys. And well, we kind of done already hit the second question. Parents aren't always right. How do you get them to talk about serious issues? Let's get into that. How do you get parents? Again, we're talking about anger and bitterness. And let me preface this question with this: there are some things that happen to us as children that still affect us today as adults.
absolutely.
Even I'm not talking about no weird stuff, y'all. We're talking about anger and bitterness. We're talking about some of the things that may have been said to you as a child from your parents. Or like the stuff like um, parents will tell their children, you just like your no good daddy. Things like that that we say to children and they hold it and it affects them in their adult life. Parents are not always right.
They're not.
So my question to you, Ebony, is how do you get to talk about serious issues? How do you get to talk? How should we get to talk to our parents about serious issues that have affected us as an adult?
Um, Again, they have to be open to. If I say to my parents, hey, this is why I'm like, I did some thinking about some things. I realized that I react this way to things, or I am this way because of this that occurred. And I can assure you, they're not gonna want to accept that. A lot of parents don't like to take accountability for their actions. And although you have gotten to adult age and it is now your choice and your responsibility to heal from that and move on, because you can't be 50 saying, I act like this because when I was 4. Okay. At what point are you going to choose to take control of the situation and live your life? But if the person is not willing to sit down and have a mature conversation and respect you as an adult, it's literally impossible. Like, I've realized that the way I react to certain things and the how I'm so forgiving, how I accept certain things, I won't say so forgiving. The reason I have tolerated a lot of things is because of the things that I was exposed to. Now, I won't necessarily say that they are bad things, but they are private things. I realize this is why I'm doing this, why I'm accepting this. It's because it's what I was exposed to. Now, can I say that to that person, that particular person? No. So now I have to make the choice as an adult to flip that behavior on my own. Because sometimes you can go to a person with all the humility in the world, all the respect in the world, and if they feel how they feel, ain't no change.
Yeah.
They have to have those. Some conversations are really, really hard to have, especially when the person doesn't want to accept that they're the reason that a situation occurred. So it's kind of different. Sometimes they can be confrontational. It doesn't have to be confrontational, but it does have to be conversation. If we
Hmm.
have a conversation, no yelling, no blaming, no, just hear me out.
Yeah. We have a question on the screen. Can parents be jealous of their child's success because they didn't live out their dreams?
I believe so.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think it shows in them trying to live through their children. I want you to do this, and I want you to be a nurse, and I want you to do this. Well, did you want to be a nurse? And if nurses are so amazing, why aren't you a nurse? So now I've heard parents tell their kids, "Oh, you got to go to an HBCU." Why? What if they don't want to go to an HBCU, or what if they don't want to go to any? So I mean, I feel like you should give them the choice to choose. But I do believe that there are jealous parents.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Dr. Kermita says parents can cause the most damaging mental issues with the child, and she would know because she is uh, in that field. She's a doctor. She knows what she's talking about. Brandon says, I think it's all about approach. Yes, you might be hurt or angry, but they're still your parents, so you have to come with respect no matter what. Absolutely, yeah. We're never ever talking about being disrespectful to our parents. We do not want to do that. One more comment and we'll move on. Sometimes you can't get it right with the person, Sheridan says, but you have to deal with it within yourself. Therapy is a great tool to work that out.
Absolutely. You know what? I was going to say that. I've never been to therapy, but I realized that I know people that are in therapy, and they are in therapy because the people that are around them won't go. So you gave me issues I didn't even have. Now I got to go deal with.
Yeah. Michaela says a lot of people are not willing to change or they block the fact that they have had a hand in your pain. And that's so true. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is one reason that, and therapy, man, therapy is, if you need it, get it. Because, like you said, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Ebony. At some point, we do have to take control of our lives back and deal with the anger and the bitterness that we feel. But truthfully speaking, everybody is not, I don't want to say they're not mature enough. Well, I guess I can say that. Everybody is not mentally uh, stable enough or mature enough to deal with it and say, you know what, I got to take my life back. And they will let it affect them when they're 40, 50 years old, something that happened when they were 10, and they're still angry and bitter about it.
They are. Then that in turn becomes damaging to every relationship that they have after that.
There we go.
So, I mean, even if you're not ready to deal with it, at some point you have to. But they always say hurt people hurt people. It's true. You didn't deal with what was dealing with you, and now everybody that you come in contact with, you're damaging. Now you're damaging somebody else.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mika, I call her Mika. She says therapy is the best thing that she's ever done for herself, and I'm proud of you for saying that. So I read an article in Psychology Today, and they talk about family secrets. A little piece of it says that every family has a right to privacy, and determining the question of privacy versus secrecy will look different in every family. Like private diagnosis, internal traditions can draw families together, lovingly and cohesively. However, they say that family secrets that center on rule violations and taboo subjects tend to create strife, anger, and bitterness. Individual secrets lead to isolation and anxiety about the secret coming out. Internal secrets create factions and often put kids in the middle of fraternity issues. So many, and it goes on and on and on. Again, we have now, and you mentioned family secrets earlier. that's a whole nother issue, um, because now we're dealing with anxiety on top of being angry, on top of being bitter. And again, this is all within the family structure. Hey, Pastor Josh Reese, so glad to see you on, brother. Thank you. So we got a lot to deal with. Um, and the worst part, and I want you to talk about this, the worst part is when we don't deal with it and it turns into out and out bitterness. Then what?
Uh, Bitterness is unchecked or unresolved anger. So once you don't deal with it, I mean, it affects you physically. It causes illnesses along with anxiety that spoke about. I deal with that myself. Um, and a lot of from being angry or holding things in and becoming bitter. And anger only lasts for a moment though. It's right in the moment. Bitterness is a sustained feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
and it goes for years and years and years and years if that anger is not checked or resolved. um I read in an article, I should have wrote it down, I can't remember what it was, but it was saying that it hasn't been officially um made a mental illness, but they are speaking of making bitterness, I think it was called PTED. I can't
Wow.
can't remember. Post-traumatic embitterment disorder is what it was.
Wow.
So yeah, it's caused mental illness. So therapy.
I didn't know. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
I I forget the article. I meant to write it down. When I find it, I will share it with you on your page. It
Yeah, please do.
go in such a way that it causes mental issues.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, mental,
So,
physical, high blood pressure, anxiety, panic attack, all kind of stuff. Because you won't deal with what's dealing with you.
yeah, yeah. Janet is on. She said, "Good evening, Janet." She says, "You'll have to make the decision to find resolve for yourself so you can live a peaceable life." That's the best answer. But again, some people find that so hard to do. So now we have uh, this other situation now, Ebony, where um, we have to, at some point, notice the bump in the road. And what that means is that for too long, families have been sweeping stuff under the rug. And uh, when you keep putting something under there, eventually it's going to be a bump in the road.
It's gonna be on trip.
There you go. To sweep something under the rug means to hide a problem or something unpleasant from other people with intentions to deal with the issue later or simply to ignore the issue altogether. So, how I watch, I think most of us, you all can tell me that if you watch it, watch Iyanla Fix My Life. And just about every episode that I watch, she gets to the root of people's issues and people, family members that have been sweeping stuff under the rug for years. And you said earlier that eventually you'll explode. So how do we deal with the bump in the road?
Hmm. Um, I think the first needs to be is you need to acknowledge that you are angry or bitter, whichever one you are at the moment, because they're not the same. One leads to the other. But you can't walk around like, oh no, I'm fine. I have seen people be flat out livid with folks. And you ask them what's wrong, and you know what it is, and then, oh no, I'm fine. You are not fine. So if you don't acknowledge that there's an issue, you can't even go past that.
Yeah.
Once you acknowledge it, now you got to make a choice to deal with it. Whether you're going to deal with it on your own, within yourself, or you're going to go to the person. Because even with you being angry or bitter, you can't talk about the both of those without talking about forgiveness. So
Absolutely.
now we got to bring in the F word.
Yeah. And that's a big one.
It's a big one.
That's a big one. So in that, I want to let's talk about that for a moment. And I want those of you that are watching to, you don't even have to comment it, but think within yourself. Are you angry with someone for a long time? Are you carrying bitterness around with you? Have you used the F word? Have you forgiven them for whatever? And Geneva took the words right out of my mouth. Forgiveness is key.
It is.
Forgiveness is key, and also apologies are key too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me say this, and we'll talk about forgiveness for the rest of the time that we have. Many years ago, out of nowhere, my mom, I can't, it was so long ago, but I can't remember how it happened, but my mom apologized to me and said a whole bunch of stuff. And I was sitting there looking like, what? You know? But when we got through talking, I had such a great, of course, everybody know how I feel about my mom. Y'all all know that. But if there's any such thing as respecting her more, that's what I did. Because I had no idea that she had been holding on to something. Not that I've done. It's something that she felt she did wrong many, many years ago, and she apologized to me for it. And that was so paramount to me, because my parent sat me down and said, I'm sorry.
Apologize. Wait.
Wow.
And apologize go a long way. Even without I'm sorry that such and such and such. If you just acknowledge that it was you. Now we can have a conversation or not. But some people don't even need a conversation after an apology. Just say that you were wrong. And we can move forward.
Yeah.
I that's major.
Shirley says God revealed to her why she was angry a lot, and it all had to do with her holding on to disappointment, taking it out on people. Once I acknowledged that and forgave myself, He removed it all, and that is an amazing testimony. You have to have the ability, ladies and gentlemen, as hard as it may be, and as long as the offense may have been over your head, you've got to know that you got to forgive people, because unforgiveness also causes physical ailments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Um, hey, Josie says we need accountability. Absolutely.
For sure.
Geneva says, if I apologize to you, you don't accept it. What more can you do? If I make repeated attempts to apologize to you and you don't accept it, then I have to move on and allow you to deal with it the way you need to. Now, what I'm not going to do is if I've wronged you, if I've offended you, and I apologize, and you don't accept it,
Take the dust from your.
I ain't gonna apologize no more.
Uh-uh.
I'm done.
That's it. You've done your part.
Right. Tabitha says, I've been there. Forgiveness is a part of your release, and you may have to apply it when you don't get the apology. That's a whole nother lesson.
Because sometimes you may never get it.
Yeah.
You may never.
Yeah. So you got to learn how to deal with people accordingly, even if it's your family. Now, do you believe that in this thing called divorcing my family? Do you believe in that?
Myself, absolutely. And here's why. Because death is really random and it's very final. And you will find that a lot of the things that we're so-called angry and bitter about, it's so trivial. It's so trivial.
Yeah.
She said, he said, and then you said, and then they said, and then ain't nobody said. And a lot of things can be handled with a conversation. Well, I was upset with you. Last time I saw you, I was you, but here's why. Because so-and-so said that you said, and then they be clueless as to what you're talking about. And you walked around 4 to 6 months angry and bitter at somebody for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some things that are really deep and they have been very traumatizing, and you got a right to be hurt and upset and offended and all of that goes with that. But people are so arrogant in their ways now that they just don't feel. I don't see, and they, we in this age, that cutoff spirit. Oh, we don't mind.
Yeah.
We don't mind telling people, oh, I'll cut you off in a minute. You gonna look up and have nobody because you cut people off so quick. That is a trauma response because you really don't want to deal with the issue that you need to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Our attitudes are horrible. Our mentalities are horrible. Nobody wants to forgive. Nobody wants to talk. You're just at the very first sign of somebody doing something to you offensive or whatever it is, I'm gone. And then you get to the next person. Somebody gonna always offend you somewhere. Because we're all different. We got different personalities. We got different beliefs. We have different opinions.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to fall, teeth and tongue fall out. So then what do you do about it?
Absolutely. Crystal Enoch says you got to learn to let things go. And that's true. Y'all see these nuggets Ebony dropping. Y'all better be catching this stuff. Geneva says the sad part about all of this is it's running rampant in the body of Christ. How can you divorce your family? That is ridiculous. We forgive friends and enemies quicker than we forgive family. The devil is busy in this world.
You that good joke and then got you pregnant 8 times, stole your debit card, ruined back to him 19 times. But let your girlfriend you've been friends with since 5th grade do one thing.
Yeah, one thing. Just one.
Just one. So we pick and choose what we want to be okay with.
That's good. That was good.
Pick and choose what we want to be okay with. And back to what Geneva said about in the body of Christ, we go to church with our relatives. A lot of churches are family based. And I have literally seen relatives walk past each other in the Lord's house. Won't say a word.
Woo.
Won't say a word.
And here we have it right here.
Right after they got through shouting and dancing.
And won't open their mouth. Michaela says everything is offensive when you haven't healed. We can close the book on that one.
Every single thing is offensive.
So this is why it's important. Before I close out, hey Josie, thank you for tuning in. She says I won't divorce the family, but I can love you from a distance. Now, let me be the first to say I'm here for that.
Yeah. I mean, there are some people that are just difficult to get along with.
Yes.
I have family members that are extremely hard to get along with. When I see them, hey, I love you. I hug them. I'll even talk to them for a few minutes. But after about 27 minutes, hey, listen, I can't do much more because I know you finna start.
Uh-huh.
And so, don't mean I hate them. Don't mean I'm divorcing them. If they call me at the morning, I'm coming. But you only deal with them so much.
Absolutely. So what is our resolve tonight? Our resolve tonight is number one, we have to we have to admit to ourselves that we have an anger issue.
Yeah.
We have to. And nobody, no, let me say this. You are with you all day long. So when we get through with the smiling and telling everybody, oh, I'm good, I'm okay, whatever, you got to go home with you. And we still, that issue, those issues, that anger, that bitterness is still unresolved. So we need to, I'm saying this, that we need to acknowledge that I've got an issue and it needs to be dealt with. And if you don't, I think, Ebony, I think you said that earlier. If you don't deal with it, it'll deal with you.
It will.
So we gotta, just.
Meanwhile, moving on with you're the one that got high blood pressure and anxiety and mental illness, and you need a therapist because you won't say nothing. You won't acknowledge that you got a problem. You won't acknowledge that you're angry, even if somebody caused it. It's okay to. The Bible says so. It's all right. Just don't let the sun go down on you. Be angry and sin.
Yeah.
To be angry, but you can't stay there.
Yeah. So family, yes, family can be toxic. That's the absolute truth. And a lot of us don't want to admit it, but that's true. Some of our family members are toxic. And it's okay if you don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't want to go to all the family functions because let's be honest, I don't want to see some of them because I know what they're about.
Yeah.
Because we have this thing where we want everybody to think that our family is the greatest family in the world. No, we need to stop lying to people and stop lying to ourselves. I posted something on Facebook a few weeks ago that said some of us don't need to exchange gifts for Christmas. We need to exchange apologies. Come on. Hey, Reb, Pastor Tina Davis, Keith is on here. She says, when you can see others' faults, but never your own, there's a greater problem at hand. Absolutely. Yeah, certainly. So, yeah, we need to exchange some apologies. And we need to learn how, all of us, we need to learn how to be offended and taking that offense to say, especially now, listen, we're talking about family members. We're not talking about somebody that we barely know.
Yeah.
We should be able to say, you know what, sister, you said this, and I was offended because X, Y, and Z. We should be able to have that much respect for one another, to not let it dwell. Acknowledge that we have issues. We need to be able to handle the offense properly, okay, and deal with the bump in the road. So, Shirley says she's labeled as funny acting because she don't come around as much, and that's okay. That's okay. Dr. Carmita says most no acknowledgement is due to embarrassment. Stop thinking about what others think. Do what's necessary for you. Absolutely. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, prayer and forgiveness is what we need.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to go, but I keep thinking, every time I think about this topic, I think about, I don't know if you were ever into the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I've seen, not really, but I know the show though.
Kenya Moore, a few seasons ago, Kenya Moore was dealing with bitterness because of the estrangement between her and her mother. And I think that she finally went to go see her mom, and I think she closed the door on her or something like that. And Kenya, at this point, she was, I think, late 40s, and she was still angry and bitter from her childhood, and it had never gotten resolved. Again, therapy. We need therapy.
You gotta, I would say, that is very, like I said, I've never been to therapy. But you even if the person doesn't want to have a conversation with you, within yourself, you got to be okay. Because God forbid, what if the person passes away? You can't have a conversation. You still, now that's something else on top of that. Now you mad some more because you never got a chance to say what you wanted to say, but you waited 10 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to resolve it in yourself. You got to acknowledge it. Yeah, what happened was not your fault. But you can't change what happened, but you can choose to move forward.
Absolutely.
Even without them.
Yep. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's our hour. Wow, what a show! It was good, and I'm glad to see so many of you all who are honest enough to say this is an issue for me. So I want to say that we will be praying for you and with you, that you are able to deal with your anger issues and that bitterness, and that you are able to forgive and to heal.
Yeah.
I want to publicly say that I was one who a few years ago, and not too many years, maybe a couple, I had really, really bad anger issues. Real bad. I mean, the slightest thing, I'm ready to go all the way off, and I had to really, really pray about that, and not to be deep, but let's just call it what it is. I had to seek deliverance, because when you get that angry, you don't know what you're capable of doing.
Man, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It is dangerous.
Yes. This is why we need to deal with the anger that's within us. Again, anger is a God-given emotion, but when it's misguided, when it's not dealt with, and it turns into bitterness, you don't know the other you that you could become when it's not dealt with. So tonight, you're welcome, Josie. Thank you so much for tuning in. They want you to come back, Ebony. We'll get her back maybe in 2022. Yes. we would definitely have her back on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you again to make sure that you acknowledge the fact that you do have anger issues. If you're bitter about something, pray about it. And if you need to seek professional help, you should do that. Dr. Kermita is still on. You can reach out to her. She is, I can't say the title that she has, but I'm telling you, if you need therapy, you know what I'm saying? Talk to Dr. Kermita Washington. She is the right person to talk to. So also, before we leave, of course, as you see ticking across your screen, if you would like to be a blessing to Willie Taylor Ministries, you can do so 3 ways. We have PayPal, we have Cash App, and we also have Venmo. So if you would like to be a blessing, hey Audrey Davis, glad to see you. Thank you for joining. If you would like to be a blessing to our ministry, help us stay on and keep doing what we're doing, you can do that tonight by PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. If you'd like to inbox me for that information, I can give it to you if you can't get it ticking across your screen. This began our All in the Family series, and of course, my sister Ebony was our guest tonight. What a way to kick off the show. Next week, we'll be talking about the scars no one can see. We're going deeper. And our guests next week are Gail Rice and Sharon Peters Ruff. They are 2 mighty, mighty, mighty women that you do want to listen to as we deal with the scars nobody can see. Thank you, Dr. Kermita. She is a counseling psychologist, so she can definitely talk to you guys about that. So, Ebony, thank you for being on tonight.
Thank you, brother.
And as I do with all of my guests, I want you to leave everybody with something before we go.
Let's leave with this. Ephesians 4:31 and 32. Let all bitterness and wrath and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice, and be ye kind one to another, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you.
And you heard it right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was Self-Checkout, where we take an honest look at what's in our hearts, minds, and spirits. We're out for the night. Good night to all of you. Good night, Ebony. Thank you again for joining us. And we'll see you guys back next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Back for Scars That Nobody Can See. I'll see y'all then. Take care.
All right.